What do you think of when you think about news? What outlets come to mind, and do you think of them all equally? Probably not. You see, when we talk about news outlets, you may think of the ones that you like and trust, as well as the ones you don't. Let's dive deeper into the question: are all news outlets partisan? No matter the source, channel, or network, media is always accused of being biased. How can that be? Are all sources inherently biased? Not necessarily. Credible journalistic practices use impartial gathering techniques to cover events and seek out the news in an unbiased way. In journalism school, we learn about the Society of Professional Journalists Code of Ethics, which teaches things like seeking and reporting the truth, acting independently, and being transparent with both your sources and your audience. But recent discourse, specifically during the last presidential election, tried to say otherwise. There were claims about how the media was too liberal and not telling the whole story. In 2020, though, a study showed that wasn't actually true, and that there's little evidence of media bias toward any political party. So why do we hear constant accusations of bias in the news? Well, in some cases, it's becoming a political strategy. Politicians try to bash the press, weakening the media's standing in the eyes of the public. Part of it, too, has to deal with the echo chamber of news and sources we can all fall into. If you're only getting your information from far-leaning news outlets, you're bound to be reinforced with the same unbalanced ideas. In TV news, there is a big difference between legacy broadcasters like ABC, CBS, and NBC, and the cable networks like MSNBC, CNN, and Fox. On cable news in particular, the hosts of certain shows do voice their own political opinions and persuade the audience to share their beliefs. This is clearly partisan. But it is not typical of over-the-air broadcasters who are more closely regulated and must adhere to a higher professional standard. With print media, however, it's important to remember that newspapers have had a long history of endorsing political candidates through op-ed pieces or on the opinion page. Does that mean that their coverage is politically biased? Not at all. Studies have actually shown that there's been no significant bias in the newspaper industry. The issue gets more complicated online, where bloggers can say anything that they want to. Many websites have legitimate news staffs, but may still be partisan. Others are one-person operations where the blogger's opinion is presented as news when it's just one person's viewpoint. I challenge you to do something to test this out in real time. Head over to the static media bias chart and pick an outlet from both sides of the political spectrum. Then, see how one is covering a topic and how the other covers the exact same story. See what's missing from one, or maybe added to the other. How is the coverage different? The static media bias chart is a great tool to see where your daily news outlets fall politically. No matter where you fall on the political spectrum, staying educated on what's going on in our communities is vital. Hey guys, Sarah Self-Walbrick here. If you liked this episode of Media Bytes and want more lessons on media literacy in a media-heavy world, tap on over to our channel to see all past episodes. Be sure to follow us at TTU Public Media for the latest bites that'll help you become more news savvy. Your algorithm will thank you.